Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here, and today I am playing along with the Stamp It Like It's Hot. This is a really large YouTube hop that there are tons of people playing along, and the goal of this hop is to pull out our stamps and start using them. And so as soon as this came up as like a fun hop to participate in, I jumped at the chance because I have a ton of stamps and I definitely do not use them as much as I should. And so I love this whole idea of using our stamps. So I think the goal is once a month to put out a layout using our stamps. And the theme, I think every month there'll be a theme. The one for this month is to stamp your title. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I've pulled out some letter stamps, one from Freckled Fawn, I believe, and the other one is from Felicity Jane. And I'm going to use those to stamp my title. The first thing that I'm doing here is building my background. However, I have a white piece of cardstock and then I have some pattern papers that I cut down, and I'm going to do sort of an L-shaped design. And before I put my pattern papers down, I did go ahead and add some Distress Oxide in Picked Raspberry, and I used sort of a almost like spilled coffee kind of a stencil to put that color down. So I went ahead and did that, and then once that was down and my background papers were kind of in place, I have my photo here, and I'm going to double mat it here. So that's what you see me doing. I'm just kind of roughly measuring it out, and then I'm going to cut this pattern paper down, and I'm going to have my photo all double matted. And so it is going to go basically down there where the two sets of pattern paper kind of join together. So I'm definitely taking advantage of that corner of this L design. And then I'm going to have embellishment clusters that are close, pretty much all around, I should say, the splatters or the coffee stain that I have on my page. I also, off camera, took a piece of pink cardstock and I die cut this kind of mesh looking die cut piece, and so I'm just using that almost as a base for some of my layers. So that's what I am going to put down here now. And basically what I'm going to do is I am going to build out where my embellishment clusters are with that mesh, and then I have a piece of pattern paper up at the top. And then once I have the sort of main elements on the page and I knew where everything was going to go, I went ahead and just marked with my pencil very faintly where my photo was going to land so that I could stamp my title, because basically I want to stamp my title so that it rests on top of this pink and white polka dotted pattern paper. So here are the two stamps that I'm going to use, and so I wanted to sort of map this out and just give me a little guideline here with my pencil that I can use to do the stamping. I have a stamping block. I'm not using my Misty, but you certainly could if you had one. I have the stamping block, and so I am just, as scary as this is, I'm going to freehand. I'm going to freehand this, which it actually doesn't turn out too bad. It definitely helps having that pencil line, and even then it's a little bit off from the pencil line, but not enough that I think it's crooked or anything like that, or super crooked. But yeah, a Misty would have probably been the better way to go, because then I could have, made sure this was lined up. And if I had to, restamp something, it would have been easier. Luckily, everything stamps really well the first time. I am using my Raven ink from Brutus Monroe, and I do have to say this black ink is pretty amazing. I really love how it stamps, and so I really love how this turned out in general. I always forget to pull out my stamps and do a stamp title, so this was really fun. And so basically I am going to stamp the first part of the last part of my title, which is Timbits, and then I'm going to take this smaller alphabet stamp and I'm going to stamp the rest of the words. And so for this page, the photo that I have is from Dunkin' Donuts, and it's a container of Munchkins, which is when we are traveling. Usually when we stop the first time to get coffee, we will grab some munchkins, and that's sort of like our travel treat in the car on road trips. And so this is a box of munchkins. And if you're Canadian, Tim Hortons is the sort of big place to get donuts, and so they're called Timbits. So because that's how I grew up, and I always called the munchkins in the US Timbits in Canada, I still mistakenly will call them Timbits and then forget that they have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Timbits, and I'm actually meaning munchkins. So that's basically what this photo is, just sort of doing a play on the fact that my husband and I both still mistakenly call them Timbits, and our kids look at us like we're funny because they're both born in the States, so they're like they'd never been to Tim Hortons and heard people do the double or the Timbits. So needless to say, that's what I'm documenting for this page. So once I have my title down, I am just coming back here, putting all of my embellishment clusters together, and unfortunately, some of my video gets cut off, and so you missed just the little finishing touches. So here are the still photos, and with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. And don't forget to check in the link down below, everyone who's playing along. There is tons of people. So with that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.